पशूनां पतिं पापनाशं परेशं गजेन्द्रस्य कृतिं वसानं वरेण्यं जटाजूटमध्ये स्फुरत्काङ्गवारिं महादेवमेकं स्मरामि स्मरारिं महेशं सुरेशं सुरारातिनाशं विभुं विश्वनाथ विभूत्यङ्गभूषं विरूपाक्षमिन्द्वर्कवह्नि त्रिनेत्रं सदानन्दमीडे प्रभुं पञ्चवक्त्रं गिरीशं गणेशं गले नीलवर्णा गवेन्द्राधिरूढं गणातीतरूपं भवं भास्वरं भस्मनाभूषिताङ्गं भवानी कलत्रं भजे पञ्चवक्त्रं शिवाकान्तशम्भो शशाङ्कार्धमौले महेशान शूलिं महेशानशूलिं जटाजूटधारिं त्वमेको जगद्व्यापको विश्वरूप प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो पूर्णरूप प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो पूर्णरूप प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो पूर्णरूप परात्मानमेकं जगद्बीजमाद्यं निरीहं निराकारमोकार वेद्यं यतो जायते पाल्यते येन विश्वं तमीश भजे लीयते यत्र विश्वं न भूमिर्न चापो न वह्निर्न वायु न चाकाशमास्ते न तन्द्रा न निद्रा न ग्रीष्मो न शीतं न देशो न वेशो न यस्यास्ति मूर्ति स्त्रीमूर्ति तमीडे अजं शाश्वतं कारणं कारणानां शिवं केवलं भासकं भासकानां तुरीयं तमः पारमात्यन्त
Shri Mataji, everyone, and welcome to the program this evening, wherever you are. Tonight, we are meditating on soul and spirit. The desire for this program came after some conversations with some Sahaja yogis on this topic. This was then followed up by a Sahaj sister who shared a transcript of a conversation that took place in Volterra in Italy in 1986 between Shri Mataji and some leaders at the time. In this conversation, Shri Mataji uses an analogy involving light, water, and a glass to describe the relationship between spirit and soul. She likens the spirit to the light, the glass to the body, and the water which reflects the light is the soul. She speaks about the soul, or the jivatma, and how it is made up of the 5 elements. The way these elements are placed in us give us our own identity and our own character. Here is a direct quote from this talk. These 5 elements, the way they are placed in you, that's the causal element, the causal of the elements that are within you. Then these causals act on the chakras, and through the chakras, these causals act on the grosser side. So from the subtle to the subtler to the subtlest. The subtlest, we can say, is the spirit. Then the subtler is the soul. And the subtle, you have the chakras. And the gross is the body. Another quote from the same talk. The spirit and the causal put together is the soul. You see, like a mirror and its reflection on it. Both put together is the soul. The causal of the 5 elements and the spirit put together make the soul. Shri Mataji goes on to say that this is why she traveled to Italy from England, then India. From the spirit, which makes everything circulate, to the soul, the carrier of the communication, then to India to raise the Kundalini. Tonight, we're not going to listen to this conversation as the sound quality is quite low. So if you would like to read the transcript or listen to the talk, if you go to Amruta and put in soul and spirit into the search engine, this talk will come up. But what we are going to listen to tonight is several excerpts of talks where Shri Mataji speaks about the soul and the spirit and how they interact and the difference between them. So before we listen to Shri Mataji's words, let's start with a simple meditation to help us be more receptive to what she's telling us. So we can bow down, raise our Kundalini, and put on a bandhan. Let us take our right hand and place it on our heart. Shri Mataji, please be with us this evening. Please give us a strong connection to our spirit so that our spirit can shine on our soul and we radiate your love. We can put both hands to the Mother Earth and place our attention on the Muladhara chakra where we meet Shri Ganesha. Shri Ganesha, the destroyer of obstacles, huge like a mountain, innocent like a child. Shri Ganesha, please make us like you. Please bestow upon us the four principal qualities of innocence, wisdom, valor, and knowledge. Let's say one mantra to Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Let us allow ourselves to feel that connection between the Mother Earth and our Muladhara chakra. We can now place our attention on the right Swadhisthana. Shri Mataji, you who are Shri Nirmala Chandra, please cool our Pingala Nadi so that we can keep our attention on you. We can say one mantra to Shri Nirmala Chandra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Chandra Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, you who are Shri Mahatahankara, help us to surrender completely at your divine lotus feet. One mantra to Shri Mahat Ahankara, the great ego. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahat Ahankara Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We can now place our attention on our left heart, where Sri Shiva resides with his power, Sri Parvati. They are one, like the moon and the moonlight, and the sun and the sunlight. Let us honor Sri Shiva, the spirit within us. Om to the auspicious one, the bestower of auspiciousness, the one who is peace, who is the auspicious spirit, the highest felicity, to our guide on the path of auspiciousness, to the Lord God Almighty, I bow. We can say a few of the mantras of Sri Shiva. We can use the short mantras. You are the God of love, Sri Kamadeva. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kamadeva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We'll change to the short mantras now. You are the bestower of blessings, Sri Shambhu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shambhu Namo Namaha. You are the darling of the goddess, Shri Srivatsala. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vatsala Namo Namaha. You are joy, Shri Ananda. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ananda Namo Namaha. You are the bestower of sweetness, Shri Rasada. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Rasada Namo Namaha. You are the primordial self of Shri Mataji, Shri Adi Nirmalatma. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Adi Nirmalatma Namo Namaha. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Keeping our attention on our heart, we can remind ourselves of who we are. neither mind nor intellect, ego nor thought, nor the ears, nor the tongue, nor the nose, nor the eyes, neither ether, nor earth, nor fire, nor wind. Eternal bliss and awareness am I. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. Nor the energy of life, nor the 5 vital breaths, nor the body's 5 elements, nor the body's 5 sheaths, neither organs of cleansing, nor speech, hands, nor feet. Eternal bliss and awareness am I. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. We can now take our attention to the Sahasrara. As our Sahasrara opens, our heart opens. And as our heart opens, our Sahasrara opens. Shri Mataji, please fully open our Sahasrara so we are completely one with you. Above all ego and superego, where there is only love. Let us honor Shri Mataji as the Queen of the universe by saying one mantra to Shri Sahasrara Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah.
It's a long story. You need another lecture for it. In short, I'll tell you, the soul is in 7 groups, is attached to our centers from the backside. And it reflects on our cells. There's a reflector, and in the cell there's a little part where it is reflected, and that is controlled like a remote control by the soul. But recently we have really discovered something great, that when you get realization, you'll find round things like that, clusters. Not only one, but many, sometimes one, like that. And also see commas like that, shining commas. These commas are the vibrations of divine, what you call Chaitanya or Brahma, or this all-pervading power. But these round things that you see are the dead souls. Now recently one of our scientists has sent us the photograph of the reflection on the cells. It's exactly the same that you see. Gradually all these things are coming to express. Now somebody might say, I don't believe in dead souls. No, they are. They hang around, dissatisfied souls. They are there. So many diseases are caused only because of them. But if you know how to make yourself pure, they all run away. Having much more in the house. This detachment, you can just practice that. You can see yourself in the mirror. I know that you are not this reflection that you see, but you are much more than what this reflection is. And what is that within us, which looks after everything, even before realization, which looks after parasympathetic nervous system. Little things, it looks after. Tries to keep us on the right path, gives us a conscience. What is that? What is within us that does that? The spirit has not yet come into our attention, but there is something within us which makes you think about the truth, to seek the truth, to know that something wrong in the society. What is that within us? Can you tell me? God has not left you without His care. There's something that looks after us. Kundalini is sleeping. Spirit is in our heart. What do these have? You feel within them. No. That's our Sahaja Yoga style. It's a soul. It's a soul which lines our spinal cord. Sometimes when people die or are about to die and they come back to life, they always say they pass through some sort of a tunnel. Some have a black tunnel, some have a bright tunnel, some have a light tunnel and all that. This is what is the soul which is within us, which starts going up, and with that our attention goes and we feel we are passing through a tunnel. Alright? These souls you can see now in the sky, all hanging. With 7 loops you can see them. Only after realization, not before. So this soul guides you. This soul has brought you to Sahaja. This soul has told you that you have to seek the truth. And you have to get to the truth. This is also the, I should say, the perseverance or the way this soul gets after you. You have to seek. Some people really get so restless about it. All this comes from soul before realization, and this soul starts working. This kind of search that you have had. When person dies, then his soul comes out and his spirit also guides him. So we call it a dead soul, like that. They hang in the air sometimes. Sometimes when they are realized souls, they need not. They become one with the divine. And whenever they want, they can always be born again. But these souls who are still attached, to something, maybe the children, maybe the house, maybe the drinking habits, maybe something nonsensical, still hang around. And they are the ones who trouble us, who bother us too much. They can be in groups, they can be many, of different types. They could be with a very bad subconscious activity, or could be with the supraconscious also. But about this we cannot talk to anybody else, because they don't know, they don't want to believe that there is something like that. They believe in a religion which says that there are dead souls and there are bad spirits, but that's only in the church or in the mosque or in the temples. But in private life they don't believe that we have got those things hanging around. Now some difficulties that you face which cannot be solved could be coming from these dead souls. So the best way to get rid of them is to develop a detached attitude towards life. Now somebody is very much attached, say to a house, or to a building, or to something else. So what happens, these souls who are trying to find out somebody through whom they can satisfy their wishes, enter into your mind. And then everything goes wrong. You cannot do well, you cannot achieve anything, you feel it's horrible. Especially with false gurus, you get this curse upon yourself. All these things have to be corrected through detachment to things. What are you attached? Some people are very much attached, say, to their children. Then the children will be attacked by these souls. If you are too much attached, say, to your money, then something will happen and you lose the money. You have known so many people who were multimillionaires, but the greed was still there. So the spirit, whatever entered into them, started telling them, invest here, invest here, invest here. And no money was left. Especially the Western business is like that. It goes on telling you, now you invest there, then you invest there. And nothing is left with you but loans and debts. And that's how you get into trouble. So one has to be very detached about it. You know the story of my getting into business of terracotta. It so happened that, you see, now, today I cannot cover all the centers, because if I start covering all the centers, it will be a very lengthy thing. I have covered 3 centers, as you have seen, the Muladhara Chakra, the Swadhisthana, and the Nabhi Chakra. And others I'll cover later on, tomorrow. But I must talk about the spirit, about which we are talking for ages now, that we have to become the spirit. Now, English language, as you know, spirit can be anything. It's a very ambiguous word. Even to alcohols we call it spirits, even to the dead souls we call them spirits, and even to the spirit, that is we are, the pure being, which is called as Atma in Sanskrit language, we call the word spirit. Here I am saying, talking about that spirit, which is the pure being within you, which is a detached being within you, which is the witness within you, which sees you all the time, which watches you, which resides within you as joy and happiness in the heart. It resides in the heart. This spirit is not in our conscious mind, is not in our central nervous system, is not under our control. To give it an analogy, I say that
The left side within us is like the brake, and the right side is like an accelerator in a car. Now, in the car, we are learning driving, sitting in the front seat. And there is the master watching at the back and seeing the whole play. Now, what you do is to go to the left, means sometimes you put the brake, sometimes you put the accelerator, make mistakes, and then you learn how to drive. That learning how to drive is the wisdom part of it, which comes to us through balancing our lives. Balance is the most important thing to begin with. But even if you don't have balance, I have seen in Sahaja Yoga very imbalanced people get into the balance. Now this balancing, left and right, or say of the brake and the accelerator, gives you a position where you can say, now you have mastered the driving. But still there is the master sitting at the back. Then you become the master. The master is the spirit within you. You become the spirit and you start watching yourself as a driver. The whole thing becomes like a play, like a drama. That you separate yourself and start seeing everything happening before your eyes. Everything happening just like a drama outside you. And you are not the part and parcel of it. So you enter into the area of your axis and the periphery loses its impact on you. You become a person who is silent, blissful, quiet, and sees the periphery, the movement of the periphery, but you are not in it. That's how you become the master. That's how you become the prophet. But Sahaja Yoga today has a power to make the prophets out of the men of God, and these prophets will have power to make others prophets. So says William Blake, the great poet of this country. And that's exactly what Sahaja Yoga is. He predicted it 100 years back, and today if you come to Sahaja Yoga, you will be amazed what you are. Whatever he has predicted about England being the Jerusalem of tomorrow, that tomorrow is today. This country of yours, England, which is so far, I don't know if people understand or aware of what this country is, which is the heart of the universe, which is the most important part of the universe, has to become the Jerusalem. For that, the Englishmen have to come out of their inertia to see what are their potentials, to rise up to that point, and that's going to work out. It's already working very well in London. Of course, we can't have too many people because plastics can be produced in the machines in thousands. But if you have to have something living, it takes time. But once it takes time, once it comes to its maturity, I'm sure this great country is going to assume that status of becoming Jerusalem, the place of worship, where people have to come to worship. It's very surprising. Things are happening with Sahaja Yoga. The flower daisy, which never had any fragrance, if you go and see now, is having fragrance. Most of the English flowers had no fragrance. They were known by that. Most of the flowers are now having tremendous fragrance. You can see for yourself. All these things are working by nature, are worked out, they are coming. What about human beings? Where are they? What are they doing? Where are they lost? This is a very sad thing. I came to London just by chance, I should say, or maybe that is prearranged. My husband got elected to this job and he had to come. And this agency of the UN is only placed here. It's in England. It's nowhere else. You have only one agency of the UN. That is in England, for which my husband got elected, and so I'm here. Otherwise, I don't think I could have come here like a guru, because I don't have any other interest but this. And I could not have come here otherwise, because uninvited I would not come to a country. But I came here as an invited person. It's all working out. Only you people have to work it out yourself and understand not only the dynamism, the vitality, but the greatest importance is that at this point you are standing on the verge of destruction or construction. And the English people have a special place. They have to rise up to it because they are the cells of the heart. I'll have this lecture tomorrow again. I hope you'll come and make it comfortable. Sorry for my throat, I've been speaking day in and day out every day. Thank you very much. One has to be in the present. And how do you do it? Not by listening to any lecture or going to any sort of a library to find out, or you cannot do it again with this brain that is today. You have to have a brain which has that spark in it, that light in it, enlightened brain. You are to be an enlightened person. Unless and until you are enlightened, you cannot see your way through. You do not know. You are walking in the dark. Really, you are walking in the dark. And when this light comes into you, that is the light within us, placed there all the time, is the light of our spirit. It has to come in our attention. And God has arranged everything for us. Everything. There's a way of our germination which has to take place. And when it takes place, you can feel that spirit in your attention. Now there is another misunderstanding I find people have about spirit. They think spirit is an energy. It is not. It's not an energy. Energy can be transformed, it can be changed, it can be evolved, it can be handled and all that. Spirit is not. Spirit is absolute. It cannot be compared with anything else that you know of. It is an absolute thing. It resides in your heart. It's the reflection of God Almighty within ourselves. And you cannot call it an energy. Energy can be finished off, spent away, it can disappear into thin air. Not the spirit. It's a permanent entity. It is absolute by itself and it cannot be compared with anything else. I mean, just to give an analogy, one can say something. But that's a different point. Just to give. But you cannot compare an absolute with anything that is relative. So that's an absolute thing within you, which resides in your heart. And when this residual power of Kundalini rises, it ignites the attention within you with this spark of the spirit. Now supposing this light is here, take it. If you put on this light, of course this light is an energy, so you cannot compare with anything, that's the trouble. But still you say this is the light. Now this light enlightens this whole atmosphere and we start seeing things here clearly. But do you think that light which is there is the one that is your attention? Not at all. Your attention is enlightened by that light. The light enlightens your attention. By that attention, you can feel the all-pervading power, the divine power, the energy of God, the divine energy of God, the energy of love of God. You can feel it because it's a connecting link. Spirit is the connecting link, but it is completely absolute. It just connects you to that all-pervading power. That all-pervading power. I think we have talked about creation when we said that the whole Parabrahma became the energy and God Almighty, which was lost in the Parabrahma, means a sleeping state, became the witness. Now this witness is in the heart of human beings. This witness is all the time there. When it disappears, you do not exist. So it is not an energy. One has to understand, actually somebody has written a book on Sahaja Yoga, and when I was going through it, I was shocked to read that he thinks that spirit is an energy. So energy, the Shakti is not that spirit, the spirit is not Shakti. They have to meet. They have to meet so that the enlightenment in human being, the Chitta, takes place.
मनोभूद्यहङ्कार चेतानेनाहम् न चाश्रोत्रजीवे न चाघ्राणनेत्रे न चाव्योमभूमिन तेजो न वायो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न चाप्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायो न वै सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशा न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्.
Let us once more place our attention on our left heart, the seat of our spirit. The spirit which makes everything circulate and shines on the soul, which carries the communication of the spirit. Shri Mataji, please come into my heart. Please clean my heart. So that the qualities of my spirit can shine. And radiate to the whole world. Shri Mataji, please help me to love divinely, without expectation, without condition, without attachment. I am the spirit. I am not this mind. I am not this body. I am the pure reflection of God. Let us continue to meditate on this connection between the spirit and the soul within us.
नमोऽस्तु ते भगवति श्री माताजी मोक्षप्रदायिनि निर्मलमार्गे जय हो जय हो नमोऽस्तु ते भगवति श्री माताजी हम बालक तेरे अनजान सत्य सत्य की दे पहचान हम बालक तेरे
Let us finish with Shri Mataji's words. They don't know what is soul, what is spirit, but these are all precise things. Soul is the thing which is not only spirit, but is the body, the personality, except for the element of the earth in it. We are made of 5 elements, out of which the element of earth drops out. Then you become the soul, because you cannot be seen, but you exist in another plane. For those of you who would like to continue meditating, we have some more music for you. Otherwise, you can raise your Kundalini and put on a bandhan. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us and sharing your beautiful vibrations. Jai Shri Mataji.
प्लीज प्लीज गार्लैंड क्या है भाई माँ को खुशी होती है अपने बच्चों को देख गार्लैंड गार्लैंड
ठीक है माँ का हुक्म है भैया माँ का हुक्म है ऐसे बात
उनको भी तो गार्लैंड
वो स्टूडेंट है अच्छी
नीचे पैर
नीचे बैठ नीचे बैठ
My dear brothers and sisters, music is the nearest thing to God on earth. Mataji has often said, the way to please God and His devotees is through music sung with devotion. And today Devu Chaudhary, the renowned guitarist of India, who has enthralled audiences in India and throughout the world, is going to enthrall with his divine music. Devu Chaudhary has been regularly playing for Mataji and their devotees. And only last year, he enthralled the Sahaja Yoga of London by his beautiful divine music. And Mr. Latifa Ahmed Khan, who is accompanying him, he is an equally renowned artist and does not require any introduction. Now Mr. Devu Chaudhary begins his musical offering to our Holiness Mataji Nirmala Devi.
बहुत नाम सुना है
पहले मन से शुरू करते हैं जैसा आप कहेंगे हमने कहा जो माता जी
नहीं नहीं तुम सुनाओ तुम्हारे मन से सुनो भाई इस वक्त तुम हो स्टेज पर हम सुनने वाले
आपके सहारे हैं
Soham.